Next up, we have digital risk protection is the new security architecture. Do you have gaps in your own security investments? And we have fortunate to have Otavio Friere here, co-founder and CTO of Safeguard. Otavio, great to see you.
Great to see you too, Hunter. Thank you for having me.
Excellent. Thanks for making it. When you think of what we've been through, right, over the past 12 months now, right? Unprecedented times. There you are. Unprecedented times. Truly an unusual environment. A whole new threat landscape that evolved almost overnight as the work from home, work from anywhere threat landscape evolved, and then the hackers got at it, right?
Yeah, we certainly saw that. They're taking advantage of the fact that folks, we saw from the previous panelists, they had to do what they had to do, right, to get their work done, and using cloud communication apps, sanctioned or unsanctioned devices that were, allowed or not allowed, was really what was possible to get their work done, and hackers knew this and took advantage of it.
So, being the co-founder and CTO of Safeguard Cyber, what keeps you up at night, and how do you delight your clients?
Well, as you mentioned, the attack surface has really fragmented. There's a lot of new apps. There's a lot of cloud collaboration tools that workers have to use, and we've seen more sophisticated attacks. We've seen nation states now with elaborate tools taking advantage of the situation. And what keeps me up at night is making sure we understand the motivation of these attackers to provide tools so these enterprises can protect themselves and protect their customers.
Of course, when you think about it, recent breaches that originated in the cloud and the various communication channels, you really do have a unique angle in your go-to-market in that you secure multiple communication channels, correct?
That's right. Let's take a step back and think about what cloud collaboration means, because you really got this dynamic where everything from Telegram through WhatsApp, through Zoom, through Teams, these are all tools that enterprises use today. We saw a lot of the CIOs mention that they were ready for this moment, right? They had deployed these tools. And the attackers look at that landscape and say, email is super well protected. Sometimes there's like 3 layers of security there. But looking over here, this is an opportunity to go after these folks who work from home. And we've seen, actors out of North Korea, Twisted Collide, we're working with our partner CrowdStrike, for example, that has this technique that attack through WhatsApp and LinkedIn, very successful and repeatable in breaching organizations through it. We've seen financial services firms have to deal with an infected resume that comes into a hiring system that ends up in Teams, and 300 people simultaneously click on it and infects all those endpoints. We've even seen folks pretend to be an organization, actually conduct interviews. You don't go to an office anymore. You can't know if it's real. These interviews are happening over these Zoom channels to just get, fill out a form, give me your social security, your password, and defraud potential employees. So, there's a lot of opportunity for fraud in these channels, and, accumulating number of breaches and cyber fraud that we're seeing.
And so how do you take care of those multiple channels?
Yeah, so we've mapped our platform to all of these channels, and we are able to run it through a security stack, immediately find these risks, but just like in email protection, immediately stop a social engineering attack, a malicious attack, real time, to avoid that the employee or the organization falls victim.
Love it. Great. When you think about digital risk protection, how does that fit within a cybersecurity practice?
Well, I mean, from our own perspective, we eat our own dog food, so we protect our own Zoom and our own channels and our own social media of the executives with it. Our overall platform can stop on average 92% of all these attacks. On our own channels, we stopped 100% of the attacks that we found with our models. So we're very, we're happy to be using it ourselves. And it's been a great source of learning by using your own technology, right? But look, it needs to fit in the wider infrastructure of an organization. And that's why we partner with great companies such as CrowdStrike to share intelligence. So when an attack happens, one of these clouds, it perpetuates to all the cybersecurity investments in terms of SIMs and CASBs and EDRs that you have, so that you alert all the possible endpoints that attack is coming in through, everything from social through Teams through Zoom, and they're prepared.
Interesting. When you think about privacy for individuals and governance, compliance in all channels, what really matters?
Yeah, we've learned early on that the opportunity for the attackers is exactly exploiting this, what we call this gray space that exists in terms of privacy. And, that's the opportunity, right? If you think about your own LinkedIn, is it yours? Is it the enterprise? The attackers know that you work for a company and the organization doesn't surveil your LinkedIn. True for your WhatsApp, true for your Telegram. But that gray privacy space is the opportunity, right? So it was important for us to take a strong privacy stance. In fact, we came out with a capability called total privacy that ensures that we can both give you the confidence that you're stopping the text on all your apps on your phone, but ensure that you feel confident that your privacy is respected. And we do that making sure that nobody can see your communications, none of your colleagues, no one in a SOC, unless there's a true attack, and just give them the IOCs, right? So no messages are revealed and so forth. So, and that was the sure way to increase adoption, to make users comfortable, to make the enterprise comfortable, that they could at the same time ensure security on all these collaboration channels, but without making the employees worried that private information is revealed in the process.
Interesting. We can't do a security session without just briefly touching on SolarWinds and the impact. How long is that going to be with us?
I think that was a watershed moment. I think in some ways it's going to be with us forevermore. I actually think that it's going to drive investments for many years to come, because it shows that security is like an onion, and you can't just think about your security as a moat and a fortress behind walls. There is ways to get to climb those walls, right? And you have to take an extended view of all your processes. You will forevermore buy software from third parties. I mean, it's impossible to build everything in-house. So, everything that you acquire, going back to Teams, to Zoom, to Office 365, runs the risk because it's not yours. It's something malicious is in it, right? So taking a comprehensive look across the enterprise, understanding where all your software is coming from, and having a strong, repeatable process to evaluate that is not easy. It's not trivial. It'll take many years to put in place. But even on all these digital channels, it's important. Look, we have a metric that basically says the number one investment for 2021 is collaboration in digital channels. Think about that. The number two is security and compliance for those channels. So and 41% of all the respondents in the survey were just realized they're just not ready for third-party technology. So it will stay with us for a long time. We have to be thoughtful, we have to be patient, and we have to think of it as a long-running process that we have put in place to minimize the risk of third-party tools.
Otavio, how do people get in touch with you and the Safeguard team and get started?
Well, our website is really a great destination. We put out information through intelligence reports, threat intelligence reports of all the issues we find. We like to think of it as an educational destination. You can even start trials there. You can do risk surveys and understand kind of, even how to work with your colleagues to get to a better place in terms of digital risk protection at www.safeguardcyber.com.
Otavio, great to be with you. Thanks for your support at today's summit, and Safeguard Cyber, definitely a top pick by the HMG strategy. Thank you.
Thank you, Hunter. Thank you for the opportunity.
Looking forward to seeing you again soon.